Go live, go live. All right, we are live. How are we doing, everybody? You know how we do. We're gonna give you a little bit of music. Are you ready? I got my girl with me this time. Woo! Hold on. Oh, hold on 1 second. I got to make some adjustments real quick. 100% that you gonna remember her name. Woo! I'm telling y'all tonight. Look, just because I got the next generation leader doesn't mean I'm not gonna come in the way I always come in. Right? So we gonna get this thing started. We couldn't go live. I tried to go live on LinkedIn. LinkedIn kicked me out. It must not like me. Remember, we talked about that before.
Yeah.
We talked about that before. So welcome everybody on this transformational Thursday. I am your man, Raymond. I am your motivator. I am your inspirator. And most importantly, I am your transformator. And tonight, I just want to say I'm super stoked. I'm super excited. I'm super happy. I've been chasing this poor young lady down for a couple months, right? But it all worked out. I finally released the podcast, the live cast, whatever you want to call it. And I could not have anybody else for this next generation leaders, but other than Mrs. Jocelyn Hockaday. Jocelyn Hockaday, do you want to say hi to everybody?
Hi, everybody.
She is an absolute sweetheart, and she is definitely the type of young lady that I strive to serve, to help, and to pour into, because I do believe with young ladies like Jocelyn and some of the up and comers you'll see over the next few weeks that we have so much change that's behind us, and I think it's important for us as the leaders, as those that have been there and done that we pour everything back into the next generation. And that's why I created this podcast. So I just want to introduce Jocelyn myself. I already tell you, I think she's an amazing young lady. She is a senior in high school, believe it or not. So she is a senior in high school. She's an awesome student athlete. She actually plays basketball with my daughter on the basketball team. She's a lockdown defender. She don't play no games, guys. Trust me, no games, right? She has 2 jobs. She goes to school. She has 2 jobs. She ain't afraid to work hard, right? Plus, she's an up-and-coming activist who leads by example, by getting out. Not only does she organize things, right? She's actually organized, I think, the first protest in the city of Hagerstown, right? I mean, as a 17-year-old, that's impressive, out there getting a lot of the younger kids involved in what's going on. So it's super impressive what she's been able to do. I'm super excited. And I believe leadership is created by those who do it before they say it. And she's definitely one of those. So is there anything that you want to add to that?
I think you covered it all.
We're gonna break her in, guys. We're gonna break her in. She's by the end of this, I guarantee you, she's gonna be singing for us.
No.
No singing. Okay, maybe no singing. But she's got a great smile. So tonight, what this is all about is my guest. And that's why I did this, because I think it's so important. I think it's so important that we inspire those that inspire us. And you don't have, I think inspiration comes from all over. And like I say, I mean, Jocelyn inspires me because I can remember when I was 17, I was not doing what she was doing, or did I even care or think about it? So it inspires me to see that, especially with my kids and the friendships and the sports and the school. So it to me, that's important. So I think before we get started, I want you to share with the audience that might not know you, and those that do know you, maybe share a little bit about Jocelyn Hockaday. Who is Jocelyn Hockaday? Where did you grow up at? And who who is the person and the young lady that everyone's looking at right now?
Well, I'm Jocelyn Hockaday. I grew up in Hagerstown. I grew up here. I was born here, and I lived in Arkansas for a couple years when I was younger. I don't remember much, but I lived there for a little bit. But I've lived here since I was like 3, 4 years old. Um, I play basketball. I always loved sports. I played basketball with my brother since I could remember. I've played, you can name all the sports. I've done track, I've done volleyball, I've done soccer. Though I'm not too big a fan, I'm just not good at soccer. It's just not my sport.
Okay,
um,
either am
I've always liked school. School's always been one of my big things for me.
I.
I've
Awesome.
I've always excelled in school. I've always encouraged people. I've always tried to, like, I remember in middle school, I was involved in like 5 organizations. Um, I, I liked, I like student government. I really like student government. Um, yeah.
Just that word, just student government gave me a headache. It just gave me a headache.
I don't know. I always liked getting involved with people and talking to people. And then, but one thing I was not fond of in school was math. I'm just not a math person. But but with the people thing, I don't know what it is. I just like being around people and talking to people. Big
Absolutely.
thing for me is helping people. I mean, it's something, I don't know. It's just, it feels good to help people. I just feel like it's right to help people. And ever since I was younger, no matter, what I did, I always felt that was my purpose, is to help people and bring
I
them up
love
with.
that.
So that's pretty much what I'm about. That's Jocelyn Hockaday. And
That's
you'll probably
pretty. That's
learn, yeah, you'll learn more about, what I am throughout the rest of this.
absolutely. Absolutely. I'm excited. I'm excited. We got some people. We got Mimi tying in. Hey Mimi, good to see you. Rusty, I believe Rusty's in Canada. So we got Rusty from Canada tying in. Dream is in Africa. So we have Mr. Dream. He's a good friend of mine. We're actually as a group, I don't know when, but we're all going to be he has a reservation down there that we're all going to go on as a team, and I don't really know what you do. Hopefully it's not run from lions, because I really don't feel like doing that. But when I think of that stuff, I think of running from lions, and I'm not really wanting to run from lions. And then of course we got Sadai here. Hello, Sadai. Sadai must have just wrapped up her talk tonight. So thank you guys for joining tonight. I do believe that you're going to be impressed by this young lady. Again, so I want you said a couple things, right? Even from the start. So you said about how you felt like your purpose was to truly help people. Like that's pretty incredible. That's pretty incredible. So if you were to look back, and I know you're only 17, but when did you like what was that what was that kind of like click? When did it click when you realized like, wow, like I really, it makes me feel good to help other people. It makes me feel good to serve other people, because that is actually like true authentic leadership, is serving other people before your own needs and your own desires. So like what was that in your young life that made you be like, man, I really like this. This really makes me feel good.
Let me think. I mean, when I feel like it really hit this year, I would say, but when I was maybe, I would say 5th grade, um, I remember I wanted to be a nurse because I would watch the news or I'd see people hurt, and I was like, I don't want that for them. I want to help them. And I feel like that's very naive because I mean, I was only 10. It was a very
Yeah.
naive thought, but I feel like from that naive thought, it built on the more complicated reasons on why like I wanted to help people. And I don't know, it just felt good in my heart to help people, that like if I see someone hurt, I'm gonna help them. If I see people are being bullied in school, I feel like that also um is a big thing. I remember in elementary school there was this one girl, I forget her name, but people would always pick on her, and I didn't like that. I was like, why are you gonna pick on her?
Mm,
She's just being herself. And so, I stand up for her. And
I
I
love
feel
that.
like, I still will do that till this day. And so I feel like that is a big influence on the decision and the reason of like why I want to help people.
I love it. And so and Sadai said that's not naive. That's just your true nature, and that's so true. That's just your heart. And I think what's really cool is we talked about this last night on mine and Sadai's podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Is I talked a lot about character. For those that know me, is character is everything that drives me. I stand on who I say I am when no one's watching, even through the struggles. I desire to be the man that like I was created to be. And I always say integrity is watching the kid get picked on and just not participating. But character is watching a kid get picked on and risking your own health, right? Physically or verbally, and stepping in and saying this isn't going to happen. This isn't right. So I love that about you, because we need more people like that. And there's a lot of people that don't do that because they're afraid of what their peers would think about them. And I think that takes a lot of courage for a young lady, especially a young lady, to stand in the gap for those that can't. And that's really impressive. So, I commend you for that. So always, be proud of yourself for that. So I want so as we get into this, right, we're gonna get into this a little bit. And as I told you guys, when this whole situation happened with George Floyd, because this was like, I already knew you were like an incredible young lady, even with your little chippy attitude on the basketball court. We'll talk about that soon. But I think what was impressive is and I want you to share a little bit about this. So as this is going on and you're seeing people, who are just sick and tired, you're seeing pain, you're seeing hurt, you're seeing frustration, you're seeing injustice, you're seeing the people that you love not being treated properly. And you got some experiences yourself, and we've shared about that. What was it when this happened, and what was the feeling that you got? Like what actually made you say, what, enough is enough? What is it, the one thing that kind of triggered you to take action? You know what I mean? Because a lot of people stood by, a lot of people raised their hands in uproar on social media, but you actually took a step and you did something at such a young age, and you put it together, and you stood on the front lines, and you had a gathering, and you had a march, and you had, I mean, that is incredible. And I mean that is incredible. And the most incredible thing is you're still moving forward, and we'll get to more of that. But so with all this issue going on, like what is that triggered you that say, what, I'm taking off the gloves. It's time to fight.
I remember just, growing up, I've always, my father always pressured, me being educated about my history. And so that just, as I grew up, I was very passionate and very proud of my history and my culture. And so, whenever I look on the TV, even when I was a little younger, I would just be sad. I was like, just for being us, for being simply proud of who we are as Black women and men, we're treated differently for it. And, it hurt. It really hurt. And I remember whenever I saw what happened, I wasn't surprised, which hurts. I shouldn't be not surprised when I see something like this happens. I wasn't surprised, but for some reason, I watched it, and the video that I remember I cried. Whenever I saw that video of the man kneeling on his neck, I cried because it hurt. I was like, another innocent Black man, his life's taken away because of the hatred of somebody else, like the hatred that is in somebody else's heart. I was like, it's not fair. And, I always wanted to do something. And for the longest time, I thought, I'm too young, like I can't do nothing. I'm small. I'm 5'2". Like I can't do anything. But I remember my brother was taking me to work, or I was driving. No, my brother was taking me to work, and we passed downtown. This was in the midst of all the riots, and I was on the way to work, and I saw this young black woman, maybe my age, maybe 17, maybe 18, so somewhere
Mm.
around there. And she stood silently on the corner with a mask on, and she had a sign, and I remember it said, I forget what it, I think it said Black Lives Matter. And there was maybe a couple others, very small crowd on the corner. And I was like, if I didn't have to go to work, I told him to pull over, and I would have stood with her. I was like, that should be me with her. And
Mm.
so, because,
Powerful.
and that, that should be me with her, because I felt that way. And so I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm going to do it. And I was like, I'm not going to be scared anymore. It's like, I can't be scared, you know, because the people in the streets that are rioting right now, they're not scared. I said, I can't be scared. And especially with everything going on, I have to kind of put that foot in the door, you know?
Mm.
And so I remember at first I was just going to do something small, like a small gathering. But then I remember I contacted somebody referred me, said she wanted to start something. And I was like, you know what? We're going to make this big. I said, we're going to do this. We're going to do this for Hagerstown. Because again, all the times, the whole time I've lived here, I've never seen that,
Mm-hmm.
anybody gathering for a common cause, especially in a time like this. And this is something I strongly believe in, just equality for people, no matter who they are. I want everyone to be treated with love and respect because we're all.
Absolutely.
And so that's what really triggered me, was that I really wish I knew her name, because she really really hit me in the heart. She really did that for me. And
You know what
I
I
want.
could tell as you're sharing this, as you're sharing, I can see this joy in your smile.
Mhm.
I could see that really impacted you, and I can see it in your smile. You have a glow when you talk about it, and whether you ever remember her name or not, you're always going to remember the moment. Sometimes the moment that changes us, the thing that changes us, we'll never remember what exactly was. We just know the feeling that it made us feel. So sorry to cut you off, but
No, you're fine. And that just with that too, that's why I always think it's so important to treat people with kindness all the time, because
mm,
you may never know it or not, but you might change that person's life in that day
amen.
by simply saying hello, or simply just standing on the corner, or simply
Yes,
just being nice to them. You can really change. You can make a life changing decision.
I
You
love
can
that.
save somebody from doing something to themselves. And that's why I always, you should always be kind to people. So that's a
Yes.
little off topic, but it's a little on
No, no,
topic.
no. It's so on topic. It's
Yeah.
completely exactly where, because it's just showing who you truly are. It's showing that authenticness of you and that gentleness of you. But I know there's also some fight in you too, because if you didn't have any fight in you, you wouldn't have made the efforts to move forward on what you wanted to do. You saw something, you said that should be me. I need to do something, and then you actually went out and did it. Like
Mhm.
that is like, I mean, if you do you know how many people are my age, right? And I'm not old. I'm just, I'm seasoned, right? but, but I mean, and they talk about what they can do, they talk about what they should have done, they talk about, and they never actually do it. So so what happened to you is you had a reaction, you saw something, you had a feeling, you had a reaction from it, it planted a seed, it gave you a thought, the thought turned into a vision, and then the vision you started to act out on, right? You see, it all works out. There's a process, but you made a decision. The key is you made a decision, and you say, you know what? That should be me. I'm going to take a stand. I'm not afraid of no one or nobody, which means, again, I always go back to is my microphone staticky?
Just a little bit.
All right, hold on. I'm going to unplug it real quick. Remember, you got to sing.
I'm not singing. I'm not singing. Mm-mm. I can't hear you. Oh,
All
there we
right. Can you hear me now?
are. Mm-hmm.
All right. No static.
No static.
All right. I don't know why it does that. Maybe it tells me maybe it's telling me I got to brush my teeth or something. I don't know. But but again, it always goes back. That's why I'm fascinated by leadership. I'm fascinated by people who actually take the initiative. So everything you're doing is actually what we would call leading from the front. It's just it's what you're doing, and I think that's impressive, and it's amazing. So once you made that decision, how did the protest turn out? Explain a little bit about how the protest turned out and what it looked like for you.
So it was really funny because we planned this all in a week. It was a
It's
very,
amazing.
very short notice, and
Dang, kids are crazy.
it was crazy. It really was crazy because I was like, wow. And I was very nervous because I was speaking to people I didn't know. You know, I contacted people off of like Twitter and Facebook. These are a bunch of people I didn't know. You know, I was really stepping out of my comfort zone. But which is very important. So I was like, you know, it's whatever, you know, I'll be fine. And it went really well. I remember we showed up, we had this plan, we bought waters and stuff, we had some donations. We got some couple people to speak. We had a little like bump in the road, I remember, because we were supposed to do so it was an in-car protest for those that wanted to participate but were, you know, kind of sensitive to COVID,
Yeah.
which wasn't my idea. It was actually Bryn's, and I really think that was pretty cool. So she
Yeah.
include everybody. We were supposed to go simultaneously at the same time, but I think we just went really fast. So the cars were leaving. We were just getting back to the park. But it played out well because I held a little open mic session where people can kind of speak their thoughts.
I've seen that.
You know, and I felt like it was really good to kind of get everybody. I felt like it helped everybody connect, you know, that you go on that common ground, you know, kind of
Yeah.
share a pain, you know, kind of share, you know, how we felt, because to show that we weren't alone. Because I know sometimes, I know at least myself, or maybe if you go through something, especially discrimination and stuff that's going on, you know, you feel alone when it happens. And
Wow.
we're not alone, you know. And it's nice because I saw all kinds of people there. I saw white, Hispanic, I saw black, biracial, I saw women, men, transgender. I saw, you know, the LGBT community really showed out for us, which is great. I saw everybody of all kinds of different religions, and it just shows that everyone came together just for this common cause, just so we all can be, you know, just the show that, you know, we all need to be treated the same,
United.
no matter who we are. And so that was really cool, and it was bigger than I expected. It was over 1,000 people that came.
Ooh, that's so awesome.
I
And
spoke.
Hagerstown's a little city. Hagerstown
Yeah.
is not a big city.
Yeah, it's small. It is small.
Yeah, it's a very small city.
For over 1,000 people, I was like, wow. And
Absolutely.
that was my first time I spoke to a large group of people.
You did great too.
Thank you. I was nervous, but I did it because I was like, you know, I want them to hear it. I want them to hear how I feel. But it went really cool. I got to talk to a lot of great people, and after that, you know, we still have these connections till this day, and I'm really, really grateful that everything went smooth.
Amen. Amen. And those connections, you see, the most important thing, especially at your age, is begin to build those connections now. So you have people on here that my friend Jareem says that he thinks you should run and be a great human rights lawyer. You should think of taking law for your career. And then Sadai says, no, just go straight for president.
You know, that's very, very ironic because I do want to be a lawyer. I do actually want to be a lawyer. I want to.
And we're gonna get into a little bit. You guys,
y'all are reading our
minds. I'm telling you, man. You guys are gonna be surprised. I found out more tonight. So I think it's incredible. And that day, what I noticed, I'll tell you as a grown, 40-year-old man, what I noticed, and I couldn't be there, unfortunately, but the one thing I noticed, one thing I always tell people is like with you and some of my close friends, like Takesha, and what she's doing for the community in the city of Hagerstown is phenomenal. I love her to pieces. Is I'm always praying, and in the background, I might not be able to be there all the time, but I'm always there. right?
Yeah,
If that
and
makes sense.
that's all that matters. I notice it's very important. Like, I can't always be there. It's very hard because we're all busy
Yeah.
people. We all have our own lives to handle. But just kind of having, sending that friend is like, I had some friends that couldn't come to the protest, but they sent me, be safe. I hope everything goes well. Even those two sentences, that
Yeah.
shows their support.
Amen.
Posting on social media, just a couple words really should. That's all you need to show support.
Words of encouragement, man.
Yeah.
And I think by you, and what I love so much is I seen so many, even including Takesha's, so many adults showed up and they just let you guys lead the way. Like, that was fantastic. And that's what one thing I always share about is you know what? The next generation, yourself, Jocelyn, some of your friends, and some of the other people that I've had the blessings, you guys are the ones that are really going to completely impact the world. And I can't speak for all other adults, but it's my responsibility to really pour into you and to look out for you. Like I always say, I am the shield. I'm willing to stand on the front lines for you guys and take the arrows and the darts so you guys can continue to build the way it needs to be built. Because what you guys have is the one thing I can say this is with the next generation, you younger guys, you don't allow the color barrier. You don't allow the sex barrier. You don't allow the things that older, I'm not old, but I'm saying the older folks and even older than me that have allowed to destroy them in their personalities. But you guys don't see that. You love each other. You work hard. You show up for one another. I don't believe in the millennial thing. I believe that it's the reason the millennials we say that they're lazy is because who have they learned it from? They've learned it from those in front of them, right? So we truly need to be the ones that lead from the front, because you guys are the ones that are actually building the plan, if that makes sense. Right?
Yeah.
Dion, I'm not old. I'm not old, Dion. Anyways. So I love that. I just love the fact that the adults showed up, supported, and they let you guys really lead that march. They let you guys lead it. So
Felt good too. It did feel good, the kind of, it was nice because I got a lot of feedback. And, just starting off doing this kind of stuff, it's great to hear that feedback, especially from people that's had experience. But it was also nice that they didn't want to, push me away and take control. They let us do it, and it did feel good. It felt good to have that support.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And I just love the way you shared something. I mean, just the way you shared that so powerful was just, I mean, the way things work in our world, in our lives, is when change happens. It's just that, like just driving down the road and you look over and you're like that, just that moment just changed everything for you. And that's incredible. But the key is, as you mentioned it before, is as a child, as a young kid, is you had that heart and you wanted people to feel good and all that stuff. So it started at young. It just didn't come to fruition until just a while ago. And I think people are knocking on my age and they better be careful. Like,
I can't see the comments, but
look, you don't need to, because some of them are older than me. But hey, age isn't, look, when you're chasing, hey Shayla, when you're chasing something, when you're doing what you feel, you mentioned about the purpose earlier, when you're really moving forward, you just are excited. You're excited to wake up. You're excited to get to work. You're excited to get into action. You're excited to serve people. You're excited, even though trials and setbacks and frustrations and, like you said, speed bumps happen, but you continue the forward progress, right? You continue the forward progress, and that's the important thing. And I love that. I absolutely love that. So I also I want to ask you this, by being 17, right? And hold on, Anthony said, Ray, it's our job to leave them everything they need to build the temple. We can't build it because, like David, we have blood on our hands. Amen, Anthony. So Anthony Williams is one of my brothers in Christ. He is a strong man, and he's a powerful man. He's the motivator to the masses. And I tell you what, he's another phenomenal leader who leads from the front, and I see what he does with his kids and how he leads his children, and he does it so his children can be just like you and lead from that next level. So, I've been so blessed by finding what my true gift was and being able to be blessed with so many great people around me, such as Anthony and Sadai and Shayla. It's been a fantastic thing. So as we get to this point, right, and you're finishing, it's your senior year, right? It's your senior year. And as you are finishing up high school, we're not going to really talk about COVID at the moment. We'll get to that. But like, what are those things that you learned, right? Because I'm going to tell you what impressed me about you is when me and you talked when we had coffee that day, is you acknowledged the fact that you were a hothead, right?
Oh
You
yeah,
ag-
definitely.
you acknowledged the fact that you made mistakes. You're a young lady, like already acknowledging that, I know I did this, but I know how to fix it. See what I mean? You didn't use it as an excuse. You didn't play the victim. You said, I could have probably done that better. I probably was a little hot-headed here. That is impressive. I can tell you that is impressive because, again, it goes back to I know so many grown-ups. I know so many grown-ups who still think they got it all figured out and their life is a mess because they will not take responsibility for themselves. And I love the fact that that day we were talking is you really acknowledged that you took a lot of responsibility for some of the things that you did. And but that's incredible. So with that being said, like I could just tell you all the things. I'm just telling you all the things that just impress me about you. And that's why I just think you're going to do amazing things. But as you're wrapping up your senior year, what are some of the lessons that you've learned from school? What are some of the things that you learned that's really you're going to be able to take with you? Um,
Um,
it could be 3 things, it could be one thing, it could be 30 things.
it's a lot of things. I would say, kind of in a nutshell, I've been through a lot through my years of being in school. I went from I didn't have patience, and ironically, um, I used to make up a lot of excuses for my behavior. I was a hothead. I I was bad. I didn't have patience for anything. I would make excuses. I remember at one point, like, I didn't like to go into school, and as I spoke earlier, I love school. So I
Mm,
went through and a lot of it was also like mental for myself. And I feel like that's the heart. I feel like the biggest enemy in your life is yourself, and
mm.
I know that
Ooh. Say that
because
again. Say that again. Say that again.
the biggest
Come on.
enemy in life is yourself. If you can beat
Mm.
yourself, I've learned if you can beat yourself, then you can beat anybody because you are your biggest critic.
Whew.
You beat yourself up over things that's probably small that people just look at you and shrug off.
Yep.
I have big expectations for myself and I hold myself at these high standards. And so that's another thing. Sometimes like you need to give yourself credit for things. And
Amen.
I've learned that. I've learned to, kind of sit back and reflect on myself. It's okay. And another thing, it's okay to fail. I remember the first day I got a C. Oh man. I will be honest, I've failed a class before. And it's okay, it happens. And it's
Uh-huh.
hard for a honor student like myself to accept that. But it's also hard for me to accept that in life that, failing happens. But it's okay.
Amen.
And I've also learned that because seeing it as an example in other people that have came through my life, I also learn from them. I also feel like it's very important to observe people and observe their behaviors and observe how they treat you because it could either give you an example on how to treat others or how to not treat others.
Mm.
And I kind of use that as a basis on, you know, my decisions that I make, the relationships that I gain. And at one point, I wasn't in good relationships, friendships, anything. I would pick the wrong people to hang out with. But as I grew older, I feel like it's really within yourself. You really have to dig deep within yourself. And that's what I've learned through school. And these kind of things I'm going to take with me. And I know I have so much more to learn about myself. And that's exciting.
Amen.
So I'm excited, when I go on to college. I'm excited to learn more lessons because they're going to be hard. I'm sure I'm going to go through another rough patch in my life. But you know what? I'm ready for it because I know that in order to be successful, you have to go through these things.
Yes.
I feel like the most successful people have been through a lot. Like one of my favorite people, Malcolm X. I mean, he went through a lot. He was in jail, but he ended up being very successful. He ended up being so successful and powerful that his own people feared him. You know?
Absolutely. And what did the one thing he understood when he was in prison is he had to educate himself.
Yeah.
And that's so important. And I know me and you talk about that too, is the importance of you said so many things right there. I could take so much of that and like break it down. But the fact of the matter is a lot of people, they can't acknowledge what you just said as a young 17-year-old girl finishing up high school with so much that's gone on, right? In your own, in even dealing with your own things, you know what I mean? For you to understand that it's okay. It's just this too shall pass. Get back up, keep on pushing, keep on moving, keep on going. I always say it's like Dory in Little Nemo, Finding Nemo. Just keep swimming, right? Because you're going to get hit by the jellyfish. You're going to get hit by the stingers of life. You're going to have setbacks. You're going to have accidents. You're going to make mistakes. But the importance is, there's a funny thing, right? And it says that the C student, or no, it says I can't remember it now. Dang it. I'm going to be mad at myself. But it says the A student is supervised by the B student who all work for the C student.
I got it.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's because we put so much emphasis on where we failed rather than where we won. You know what I mean? And it's so important to continue to understand that wins come through the failures of life. That's where your greatest impact will ever be made, is in what you didn't get at that time, what didn't happen at that time, because it's a molding process. You're 17. I'm telling you right now, you keep this mindset that you have at 17. When you're 27, you're going to be, you're going to have such, like, I don't even know if it's 27, but just with that mindset, it's incredible. I just love it. I'm fascinated because, and I know our conversation was going to be good, but the more that you talk, the more that I realize that there's something special in you. And you just keep doing what you're doing. And I can guarantee you, everyone watching here is probably as impressed as I am. So that's fantastic. But I do have to share one story. So
I'm scared.
Look. So Jocelyn is a great basketball player. Like, she is a scrapper. So Anthony Williams, so my brother Anthony Williams on here, he actually was a D1 ball player. He's
Nice.
he played for Alabama. He's so he knows basketball. So I see him out there working with his young boys. Like, he'll put it on Facebook sometimes. So I see him working with his young boys. And so we're watching the game one time, right? I don't remember. Jocelyn got so mad. She got so mad. Did you leave at halftime? Was it halftime you left at? I don't think you ever came back out after the half.
I don't even remember.
You were so mad. I said, Brianna, where did Jocelyn go? She goes, she didn't say anything to anybody. She was so mad, she just left.
It was at the end of the game. It was at the end of the game. And as a proper team leader, I should have stayed, but I didn't. I let the anger get to the best of me.
Learning
I
lesson.
apologize. I apologize to the team. But yeah.
I had to share that because listen, look, I'll be the first. Sarai will tell you, I'll be the first one. Like, it doesn't matter who you are. Everyone's got a short temper, but that's the key is in leadership. The more you stay involved in it and the more that you grow in it, the less that those outbursts will happen. And your outbursts will happen in instead of those type of outbursts, it'll be more intentional where your intentionality in your outburst will be through outcomes of the service that you provide. So it's not nobody's going to notice but the butt that you're kicking on the scoreboard of life. And that's what's incredible. So you're building up your scoreboard now because I do believe in life that everyone has a scoreboard, right? And we got to see the wins and we got to see the losses and we got to see where we're failing. There's a gentleman one time and Orrin Woodward's his name. Phenomenal leader, just a phenomenal leader. And he said, you need to learn how to take a win from every loss, but you better sure take a loss from every win. And the intention behind that is that we're constantly in growth mode. Even when you're winning, there's something that you can get better at. And when you're losing, there's things that you can pull wins out of. And that's important in life. We always have to remember that whether we're 17 or whether we're 67, as long as we're alive, it's another day to grow. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it also brings me another point, like, cause how you brought that analogy of, basketball to life. I've learned a lot in most of my life lessons through the game of basketball. And that
you had a great coach too, right?
I did. I had great coaches in my life. They taught me a lot and they pushed me through a lot. And I just noticed, like, even if it's for anybody else, like, if you might not, if it's not basketball, it could be art, it could be writing, it could be, boxing, it could be anything. If you somehow can, like, maybe find like an outlet or a way to kind of find those life lessons, like, definitely find that thing. For me, it was basketball. For other people, it might be something else. But that just brought another point that kind of popped.
You heard her. Y'all better write that down. Find that thing. That's that thing. Look, find that thing. Look, what we talk about is we talk about that why. We talk about that why. Why are you doing it? What do you want? Jocelyn just dropped that knowledge. Jocelyn just said, you better find that thing.
You better find that thing.
Come on now. I love it. That is.
Whenever I was at a very low point, my coach, Coach Avery, I'll drop names here because he's an amazing.
All right, Coach Avery. Hey, Coach Avery is a phenomenal leader.
Avery Carey, he's a great coach. I had great coaches and mentors in my life. He told me, play for your whys. And till this day, I do that, in life. I do things for my whys. And Amen. You know what? You should do that for, this applies to anybody. And I think that's something this still carries till as I'm on live with you.
I love it. You dropping. Jocelyn dropping gold bombs. She ain't even dropping nuggets. She dropping bombs tonight. She bringing it for real. Look, you're gonna have some fans for life now. You're gonna have a group. The people that are tuning in here tonight, these are all leaders amongst themselves too. And so what happened tonight is now you have great people that are going to be supporting you from behind. So that's why I think what I'm trying to do is because, again, there's so much power. The stuff that you're sharing with me tonight is outside of what we've talked about before. And again, everything you're saying is just, it impresses me more and more. And the next thing I want to say, which makes it even more incredible, is So there's something that we talked about 2 months ago, and it goes back to again where what did you do? You just took action. You made a comment to me. You asked me, and I gave you just a couple places to do, and you took the rest upon yourself. So Jocelyn has, I believe it's next weekend. I believe it's next weekend where she told
Saturday.
me Saturday. So she told me about 2 months ago that she was going to she said how and where can I give out backpacks. That's what she wanted to do. So as I'm watching on Facebook the other day, she's she's got a Facebook live and she's opening a box of several with over 100 backpacks. So again, here's Jocelyn. She wants to do something. She sees that there's a need. She wants to fill a void, and she goes out here and she actually makes it happen. So you're going out and you're giving out 100+ backpacks for people. So explain explain to the bystanders what exactly how that came about, and what made that, what was that driving factor, and how did you get that accomplished to where you made it happen again?
Um, I just see, through COVID, which I know we'll probably talk about later, or next. But like with COVID going on, I know a lot. It hit a lot of families financially, and I don't, it's hard, and I don't like seeing people at a low point, And I don't know.
Mhm.
I just like to help. So I was like, how can I help people? How can I help the kids? The younger people. And so I was like, a book bag drive is simple. At first I thought it was simple, but it actually took a lot. It took a lot of work, but I couldn't have done it without like the people that are in my corner right now. Like the people who are in my corner have helped a lot. Like um they've helped a lot. So how that's going right now is the whole basis of the book bag drive. I have over 100+ book bags, and I'm going to be stuffing them soon. So we'll stuff them with supplies such as a mask, because kids need masks, stylus for their iPads, because that's the new thing, pens, pencils, erasers, notebooks, folders, kind of everything a kid might need, especially since all the kindergartners are now, because we're in stage 3. So people are back at school. In these book bags, I got all different colors. So if you want a pink one or if you want a blue one, we have all the different colors going on. And on the same day as the 24th, it's at University Plaza from 1 to 6, but from 2 to 5, we'll be having privately owned local businesses set up to kind of like promote like what they're doing, such as my brother. And there's going to be some music, and it's actually really cool because I have my event, but we also have their event. We're kind of collabing together, and I'm really excited because we're supporting each other. We're supporting the community and the local businesses as well as the children, because I always think it's important for the children. If the children see me or the people in my corner or the other people doing things, they're gonna I want to do that, and I want them to do that. I want them to do things that make them feel good and make other people feel good. And so
You're making me feel good right now.
Oh, thank you.
I love it.
That's gonna be really cool.
I mean, just the thinking, right? And maybe one day I'll get your brother on here too. I just don't know your brother as well as I know you, so we had to bypass Darius at this point. But I'm telling you, just the way you started saying, bringing vendors, your brother, bringing it together, and you're talking about collaboration, which goes back to the unity that you talked about before. It all plays hand in hand. I don't know if you recognize that, but everything that you want is coming into existence. Tiara says, future young leader, love to see it. And I love that because it's so true. And Tiara is a leader herself. She's doing big things in the community because she wants to see such a big change. And that's one of the young ladies I was talking about earlier, with Takesha Martinez. And, we have the next generation leaders, right? it's what Tierra's doing, what so many other people are trying to do by lead from the front and start to change the way that we perceive things, because perception is powerful. And we're not going to tolerate, we're not going to tolerate the way people perceive that things should remain the same, right? It's not going to remain the same anymore. It's time for a change. And that's why Tierra and Takesha and yourself and the things that are going on behind the scene. I mean, just putting this backpack thing together, seeing again, you're seeing a need and you're filling a gap and you're serving the people who need it. It's incredible. Like it gets me so excited. As you could tell, I get passionate about people who are really performing at a high level, even against all the things going on. So with that being said, we'll take it back now, right? So in March, obviously, we have this pandemic. I don't even like to use the word because it irritates me.
I think we're all on edge with the word pandemic. It's gonna hit
Yeah,
us
yeah.
all.
I'm telling you. So when this all happened, when everything happened, when schools got canceled for the remainder of the year, we're going into the summer, sports, AAU basketball gets put on hold. Everything around everybody gets put on hold. And the incredible thing is Jocelyn made a pivot. A lot of people stopped doing the things that they wanted to do and then started to sit around. And when a lot of times sitting around you become stagnant and you become a victim and you become a complainer, right? Jocelyn didn't do that. Jocelyn made a pivot, right? So in this time where people were, because of mental health, addictions, all this stuff was going on, what was so different about Jocelyn during this pandemic? Like how did you first perceive it when it came? Did it hit you first and then you had to talk yourself out of a negative? Or did you just say, man, this is a perfect time for me to rise?
Well, it was a weird time because I was doing a lot. There was a lot of transformations going on with myself during this time, and whenever the pandemic hit, I was surprised. I was like, wow, like what's going on? That was my first reaction. I couldn't work because my job, it was retail, so I couldn't work. So I had to go job searching, and that was frustrating. No one was calling me back because of the pandemic. It was hard.
Yeah.
But I ended up gaining a job, and through working that job, and I would work like all day. If I wasn't at school, I was working, because for me, I had to keep busy. And
Yeah.
beforehand, I used, if it was the old me, I would have used this time to complain, and make up excuses. But it kind of gave me an opening to really look at myself and reflect and
Mm,
figure out things for myself. I was like, I need to use this time as an advantage for myself, you know, and it's not selfish to do that. A lot of people would say, well, a lot of people think or believe for themselves, doing things for yourself or taking time for yourself is selfish. And it's not. And that was a
mm.
very hard pill to swallow for myself. But, I used this time for myself. I worked. I did things that made me feel good. And
Mm.
I realized doing things that made me feel good helped me do things for others to help them feel good. Because I
Wow.
realized if you don't feel good, then you can't make other people feel good.
Mm.
If you're not happy, you can't make other people feel happy. The way you feel and your energy that you give off is contagious to others. And
Amen.
so I used the time of COVID and difficulties. I seen it in other people, and I realized, I wasn't alone. I was like, I see people struggling. I was like, I'm not alone. They're going through a hard time too. I was like, and the only way, I was like, I need to help them. And so I used this opportunity to help others. As and I helped myself, and just helping others helped myself as well, It
Yes.
I don't know. It was a weird time. It was a really weird time because people were struggling, politics going crazy, Black Lives Matter. There was so much going on. But I
All at one
felt
time too. Like it just
all
like
at one time.
woo.
Yeah. And I was like, I can't just sit back though. I can't do that anymore. I've done it long enough. I was like, it's kind of
Absolutely.
time that I need to kind of stand up. I kind of need to take advantage. And so I took advantage. You know,
Yeah, that's just like
it was hard. It was
that
hard
excites
at
me.
first, though.
You have
It was hard
look.
at first.
It absolutely, but I'm. You know what the things that you're saying, right? The things that you're saying, I swear. Oh my goodness, like to understand what you're understanding at such a young age. And I don't keep because age is you're way more mature than a 17-year-old. And I love the fact what Tiara said down here. And she says that she just wants to break down the doors so Miss Jocelyn can break down the walls. I mean, that's powerful. It's exactly what we were talking about earlier. And for you to understand that at this time isn't a time to stand down and to have a setback, but it's the time to reflect and to know how you got to grow and to know how you can get better. And you said the most important thing, to get better so you can help other people get better. That's incredible. I almost threw my microphone through the window in front of me. But that's what I'm talking about. That right there is exactly the type of leaders such as yourself that we need. That right there, like that, just to hear you say that, that was impressive. That was absolutely impressive. That was like
during the time it was hard because mentally it was hard, and I started just doing things like creating, like I got a planner, like I was talking to you earlier about, and I created a schedule for myself. I think for some, schedules aren't super important, and for others, like, schedules are really important. And so, for example, like, that's just one example of doing something for yourself, is just learning how to create a schedule for yourself. For some people it's important, for others, and just doing something for yourself, I just think is so important. Like, I'm a very big advocate of mental health, and so, like, just doing it for yourself is so important, because if you want to help people, you have to help yourself first.
oh my, so I have to say this. So the young lady's picture that you see right there who says OMG, I know, wow. So she is actually a licensed trauma therapist in the state of Florida, and she's probably one of the most incredible. So Sarai found me when I was just this young yucca pup running my mouth on Facebook, and she reached out to me. And the most incredible thing about her is she's such an edifier, and she sees the good in everybody. And as I'm talking to you, I'm going to say this, that as I'm talking to you, you sound somebody like what I think Sarai is, already at such a young age. The fact that you're recognizing this, the fact that you understand this, and then you start to talk about mental health, because mental health, the traumas that we face, the setbacks that we have, the damage that's been done, the hurts, I mean, for you to know that, like that is I'm getting excited. Like, I'm super fired up. I might not be able to go to sleep tonight because I'm going to be so pumped up. I'm going to be so pumped up that Jocelyn's up and coming riser out here, man.
Thank you.
So that's I just want you. Sarai's already saying that you got to come on our show. So you just got upgraded. So Wednesday night we do a podcast called Transformational Thought, and we're getting ready. So I'm not going to say it, but we got big plans coming. So that's really gonna set apart and set aside. But you so remind me of just a younger version of Sarai. Just like, that's super awesome. And I'm gonna tell you this too, Jocelyn, is you probably have a stalker now, because I guarantee you Sarai's gonna be after you.
It's okay. It's okay.
So the last thing, and then we're gonna start wrapping it up, because you know me. I I could talk to you forever.
Oh yeah,
Um,
once I'm comfortable, as you can see, I can go on and
Not
on.
only are you so comfortable, you're so powerful. I just everybody tell her how powerful she is. You are
Oh, I'll never do
powerful. Oh
that.
no, it's because I want you to know that you know we see it. So when we got to talking before this, we got to talking about journaling, right? So Jocelyn started to share with me. She's like Coach Ray. She's got multiple journals too, right?
I
So
do.
yes. So share a little bit, just share a little bit about, because if there's anybody young watching, even some of the older people, the importance and how you use your journal. Share it with everybody about that.
So the way I started my journal was I found that is a very good coping mechanism, is something that is very healthy, and it's nice to just get it all out. So I have a planner. I write everything in there for my life and school and stuff. I color code stuff. You don't have to do all that. That might be a little extra, but I like to do that. So this planner, I have a journal here. I write all my feelings out, my personal feelings. You know, if I'm having a rough day, sometimes it's nice to just write it down. I like to write. So this one though is specifically um like so I like reading, and one of the books that I read was The Color Purple. There was a movie too. I watched it back, you know, when I was younger. And the way the which is really cool, the way the narrative is crafted is she is writing to God. So she always starts it God or Dear God. So that's how I craft my journals. You know, I say Dear God and I just start pouring it out. You know, because so it's different to talk to him, but writing, it just hits me a little different, you know.
Amen.
And so then I
Powerful.
have this one, which is really cool because I really like it because it's leather. I don't know. I write like poems. I sometimes like to do like topics. Like the latest topic I did was power. I told you earlier. And you
Yep.
know, I write a page and I kind of just, you know, write it out. And it's nice because I get to share my thoughts down on a page. Um
Love it.
I don't know. I like to write, and it's something that's, you know, that I like to do. Yeah, The Color Purple is such a good movie. I recommend it for everybody, especially the book, because the book is very different. Um, is very different from the movie, and the way the book is written is very articulate. Like you wouldn't even think, but you have to think a lot while reading it. And those kind of books are really cool.
Yes, yes, I love it. I love it. I think you've like completely like you you make me want to be better.
Oh,
I swear to God, you make me want to be better. Like you're giving me like I'm ready to go conquer the world after talking to you.
thank you.
I'm thinking like, man, I got a lot more work to do.
I think of that of myself though. So I think I have so many
Oh,
plans that, you know,
I love it.
this is not it.
Absolutely
You
love
know,
it.
I'm just getting started.
You just getting started. You're just and the thing is always remember this too, right? Is now never forget, right? You now I'm telling you right now, you have people that are behind you now, right? You already know. You already know, right? I love what Tiara said about knocking down the doors so young ladies like you could knock down the walls. And I said that earlier. I am a shield for you. And I already told you, you need anything from me. And now Sadai is going to be attacked. Like I'm telling you, right? So you have people. You got people like Tierra right here in this town that's leading the way for not even you, just me too, just trying to create and break this garbage that's been going on for so long. And then like myself, who, you know, I do things a little bit different, but I just, you have, put it this way, you have all the resources you need, right? And you got a phenomenal mindset that you're going to be able to accomplish so many great things. And that's really what like we talked 2 months ago and we sat and we had coffee and we just kind of went back and forth. And I mean, you were incredible then, but like sharing this with you tonight and really asking you questions and hearing what you have to say is I mean, even Tiara says this is motivation even for her. And it really is. I really want you to understand, like, as I'm talking to you, I'm thinking to myself, I got to kick it up a notch. like this, like I gotta step my game up, right? Like, but and the only reason I say that is for me to step my game up is because I can support you more, right? So that's that level up game. And you know, when I think of leadership, right? It says, I wrote this down the other day in my little baby journal, right? Is I wrote this, and it says, your importance isn't measured by how much you do, but by how much that you do matters, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everything you're saying isn't about just being busy. It's about being effective,
Yeah.
right?
You
Effective.
you can do a bunch of stuff. You can do a bunch of stuff, but the way you do it, if it's not effective and efficient, then you're not doing anything at all. And that's how I think of it, you know?
Amen. See, look, I said she will support you in any project you do.
Your mic is staticky.
Is it better?
Oh, there we are.
I don't get it. Oh, well, at least it gets better every time, right? So Sarai says she supports you in anything you do, right? See, now me and Tiara, we're saying it's time. We're both saying it's time to step up. Like, we got to step up. And I know that what she means by let's go, Ray, because you really did encourage. I think you encouraged a lot of people tonight. And I hope a lot more people watch this, and they're able to hear your heart. They're able to hear your truth, and they're able to hear, you know, and like Tiara put right here, is effective. Because it's not about how much we do. It's not about how busy we keep ourselves. It's about how effective are we. And same thing with Tiara. It's you know, she's doing what she's doing. It's exhausting. I can't even imagine doing, you know, the stuff that her and Takesha and everybody's doing on a day in and day out basis, and plus having a full-time job and a child and doing all that stuff. And what's incredible is they just want to be effective. They want to be effective. They want to see change. And that's what a lot of this is about. So, you know, I commend you for that. I commend so many people for that. And, you know, me, I just try to do my part. And that's what this whole podcast is going to be about, is about just, you know, look, you just got me. I'm about to go put my boxing gloves on and just
But it means so much just hearing it from you all, and especially Tiara, just like, because I follow Facebook and stuff. It means a lot because I didn't even think that I made an impact like that. And I am, like, you know, it feels good to hear that from you guys, and thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So Kimon said, good night, Jocelyn and Raymond, two great motivators. Look at that. Look at that. Now you're a motivator too, girl.
I'm a motivator now.
Come on now. Jocelyn, hope is an inspiration to us all. Jocelyn, you are hope and inspiration to us all. She's making us look small. And to be honest, that's exactly how it should be. And that is so true, because again, you are that. Tia said it the best. You know what I mean? Is she's doing what she's doing to make way for you. And I think what I really realized, and Sarai will tell you, is I just felt like God was pulling me, like, you're doing great things, Ray, but there's people that can do it better. And I had to understand and be humbled and say, you know what? It's not going to be me. It's going to be young ladies like yourself, young men like Drake that I'll have on here who's doing phenomenal things. You know, and that's what we're going to do, you know. And we're going to lead the way. Tiara said, man, listen, I was down earlier, but ready to get back to work. Thank you both. Thank you. Hey, thank you. And we know the work that you do, Tiara. Like, we definitely know that work comes at a price. So, whether you know it or not, sis, I pray for you, and I pray for Takesha, and I pray for everything that you guys do. So never think that I don't see what you guys are doing. I'm just not always facing the scene just because I'm crazy going 1,000 miles an hour, 1,000 different places. So let's see who else. We have so I just want to tell you that you really encouraged a lot of people tonight. And for this being your first interview, you're a rock star, girl.
Thank you.
You ready to start your own podcast now?
Not yet. Not yet, but I've always wanted to. So that's exciting.
I see it. I see it.
I
can see it now.
It's the journalism. I have to.
Look, I'm telling you right now, girl.
I don't know if I mentioned to everybody, but like, you know how I said, you know, this is just the first step, and that plays into what like I'm gonna do in college is I'm gonna study journalism, because you know I want to be able to communicate, because journalism is all about communicating, and then I'm gonna use that, and I'm going to go to law school, because I realize the only way to change things is because the system's corrupt, and the only way to change things is to be in the system. I'm going to learn the system, and I'm going to change it. Amen. And I'm going to make a change. I can't change the whole thing, and maybe one day I will, but that's a goal of mine that I want to do. Amen. And so I just feel like it's very important. And so that's why, you know, doing the small things like the book bag drive and stuff like that, I just do it out of pure, you know, passion. I just want to do it. And so that's why I just, you know, I want y'all to stay updated, because I want to do big things for the people, you know, because I'm all about the people. So
yep. And look, and yeah, Tiara, that's crazy, right? Her first interview, crazy. Like, whoo! It took me 36 years to open my mouth. But look, so again, everything you're doing is. I can't say how pleased I am. And you know, Tiara says it right here. Oh, sorry, that was you know, she supports you. You got Sarai who supports you. And then you got my brother Michael, you know, talks about building your foundation. And I think, you know, you have a great father. You know, your dad's an awesome man. Your brother is doing great things himself, you know. And maybe, you know, in the next couple weeks, maybe we can get you both back on here together. I'd love to talk to your brother. You share a little bit with me, but that's for another time and another day. It's your spotlight tonight. So
thank you.
But this, I tell you what, I'm honored. Thank you for sharing tonight with me. And I know we went a little bit longer than normal, but I just enjoy listening to you talk. I enjoy listening to your passion, and just know everything that you want to accomplish is right at your fingertips. And I believe tonight you got a lot of warriors that are going to stand on the front lines for you while you perform at your highest level. So never hesitate. I guarantee you, each and every one of us that you see on here tonight will be here to support you and here to acknowledge if you have any problems, any questions, or any concerns. So, man, with that, we're going to wrap this thing up. Do you want to leave any closing message for anybody? Do you want to leave any closing words for anybody?
My closing words would just be, because I know sometimes if there's difficult times, it's just keep pushing. Because I always say this to myself, is keep pushing and just do it for your why. You know, that's really it. Kind of a summary of a lot of the stuff we talked about.
And as Jocelyn said, find your thing.
Find your thing, guys. Find your thing.
My girl. So I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, Tiara. Thank you so much for everything you're doing in the city of Hagerstown. Thank you, everyone else, for the coaching you do, for the mentorships, just for the encouragement that you guys do. Mr. Michael, I know Michael does a lot of great things in his community too, and I don't want that to go unnoticed, brother. I appreciate that. And man, I love you guys so much. I appreciate this, and you know, we will be back, and I promise I will get Jocelyn again, because if I know her, she's going to keep moving. So thank you guys. Have a blessed night. And with that, we're going to wrap it up. Have a great Thursday. See ya.